great.
Hold on. Okay, there we go. It wasn't giving me my notes. It's weird. Okay, I'm good now.
Okay, great. Well, we are live streaming to YouTube.
Cool. Let's do it.
And we are just going to wait a few minutes. Once we have, I don't know, in like 3 minutes, I'll start the webinar.
Sounds good. So how's your day?
It's great. Yeah, I see our live stream. It's happening.
Awesome. Oh boy. Just another manic Thursday, although it has flown by, I will say.
Yeah, I agree. It's fun to be doing all these sessions.
It is fun, isn't it? Especially when it works well.
Yeah. I mean, it's neat. Anybody who's watching the live stream right now is listening to our conversation.
Oh, they are. Cool. Awesome.
But there's nobody else. I'm the only one watching it.
Sweet. Well, you
right
can.
now.
I didn't know how any of that works. So
It's cool. So when I start the webinar, that allows students to come in the Zoom room. And then you can start at 2:30.
Cool. Do you want to just give me a ready?
Yeah, we'll wait just 1 minute and then I'll start the webinar and then you go at 2:30.
Okay. Can't see my clock on my computer though.
Oh,
yeah.
Do you have your phone close by?
Yeah, it says 2:28.
All right. Well, then we're going to start the webinar.
We good, Vanessa?
We have started the webinar.
Cool.
You might want to wait a few moments to
Cool.
see who comes. We don't have anybody here yet. Okay, people are starting to come in. Welcome, everyone.
All righty, we're going to go ahead and get started. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. It's Thursday afternoon. My name is Whitney Ewing, and I'm the program coordinator for the CSU Center in Todos Santos. And I appreciate you joining me today. I'm going to do my best to do this place justice and highlight some of our wonderful programs that we have for students to participate in. Joining me, and you cannot see her at the moment, is my colleague Vanessa. She's absolutely lovely. She's going to be our tech support for today. Hi, Vanessa. She will also be monitoring the chat. So if you all have any questions, feel free to type away and then we can maybe address those at the end if that's all right with Vanessa. So yeah, to get us started, I want to go ahead and read our CSU Land Acknowledgement. Colorado State University acknowledges with respect that the land we are on today is the traditional and ancestral homelands of the Arapaho, Cheyenne, and Ute nations and peoples. This was also a site of trade, gathering, and healing for numerous other native tribes. We recognize the Indigenous peoples as original stewards of this land and all the relatives within it. As these words of acknowledgement are spoken and heard, the ties nations have to their traditional homelands are renewed and reaffirmed. CSU is founded as a land-grant institution, and we accept that our mission must encompass access to education and inclusion. And significantly, that our founding came at a dire cost to Native nations and peoples whose land this university was built upon. This acknowledgement is the education and conclusion we must practice in recognizing our institutional history, responsibility, and commitment. All right, let's jump into things. Like I said, my name is Whitney Ewing. I'm the program coordinator for our CSU Center and Todos Santos semester programs. I also work with our Education Abroad team closely on some other aspects of our international education world. I work with our incoming exchange students and do some other things with the office as well. If you ever want to meet with me, feel free to scan the QR code. But yeah. All right, to start off, I wanted to give you a preview of some of the programs that we offer and support at the CSU Center in Todos Santos. For those of you that don't know, we do have down in Todos Santos, Mexico, and Baja California Sur, Mexico, we have a CSU campus. It's pretty much an international extension, a research or field station, if you will, that welcomes a variety of CSU faculty and staff, as well as universities who also want to bring their students down there. It's about an hour north of Cabo San Lucas. It's a beautiful, magical, small community of some of the more most welcoming individuals you'll ever meet, really. It's absolutely beautiful, fantastic art culture as well. We have a whole team and whole staff down at our CSU Center in Todos Santos who are equally as lovely and absolutely wonderful. In fact, we have some of them on our campus today and for the next month or so. So if you see anybody, make sure you say hi. Okay. Program overview. So coming up for spring 2023, we have a semester program. The semester is about 10 weeks long. Students take 5 classes and earn 13 credits. 9 of these 13 credits actually count towards a SOJS minor. So if any of you have that minor, this would be an awesome opportunity to, I guess, knock out a lot of those classes and credits that you might need. Every single semester or term, because we also run this program over the summer, has an academic focus. The academic focus and the course offerings change every single term. This spring semester, the focus is academic focus is sustainability. So if that's another area that piques your interest, this could be a fantastic semester to go abroad and join us at the CSU Center. For our semester programs, you do keep most, if not all, of your financial aid package. The 2 things that I'm a stickler on is for students to know how their classes are going to come back and what that budget and cost is going to look like way before you even have to commit to a program. I'm going to talk a little bit more about financial aid later, but just know that typically students are able to keep most, if not all, of their financial aid. In addition, this spring 2023, we have a number of $1,500 scholarships available. This is typically not something that's offered every semester and will help reduce that total cost and should help most students that are participating in this program in the spring. For this particular program, we have CSU faculty from CSU Fort Collins who will be going down there with the students and teaching courses there. And we also have locals that will contribute as guest speakers and really be a part of the education that happens with any and all of our visitors to the center. Next summer, 2023, we have a shorter program. So not quite the 10 weeks, but 5 weeks to get an incredible experience down in Todos Santos. We'll be offering, our students will be taking 2 classes. So 4 classes will be offered. Students select 2 of them. So you'll be earning 6 credits. And it's a combination, which I love, of CSU faculty from Fort Collins campus, as well as Pueblo campus. And then, of course, we will have our CSU staff on the ground in Todos Santos who are also going to be chiming in as guest speakers and even instructors throughout that. Fall 2023 courses have not been decided yet, but stay tuned because those will be ready in about a month or so. I think those will be decided. Other programs we offer at the center, unfortunately, this one's no longer accepting applications for spring 2023 because it's that popular and wonderful. Typically offered every semester, and there's also a winter break option. is our Fish, Wildlife, and Conservation Biology program. Absolutely incredible. Students with this major will have the most immersive experience you could probably ever get, access to an entirely different ecosystem and region than here in Fort Collins, and of course, taught by CSU faculty. The program runs from early January through mid-March. And yeah, no longer accepting applications, but I do want to keep this program on your radar as one that will be back next year, so you can keep an eye out for applications. New this summer 2023, if any of you are Betcher scholars, Betcher students have the opportunity to participate on a Betcher Service and Sustainability program. It's non-credit bearing. It'll be 6 days down at our center, and there will be 2 CSU faculty along with some other wonderful Betcher scholars in attendance on this program. So just some highlights. We're constantly building new programs, incorporating new things. I would say most of these programs, if you are the type of student who wants to be out of the classroom, out of their seats, and really engaging with the local community, speaking with local community members, residents of Todos Santos, hearing their stories, this is an incredible opportunity to do that. This is one where we want students out of the classroom, exploring and learning and being curious. So if that sounds like you, maybe this is a good fit. As mentioned, in case you're not familiar with the topography and location of everything in Mexico, we have Baja California Sur. It's right, I'm pointing, you can't see that. But it's 1 hour north of Cabo San Lucas, about a 3.5-hour flight from Denver. 7,000 to 9,000 person population. Students have access to the beach and the mountains, kind of the best of both worlds. And repeatedly students are feeling at home, and they really talk about the magic of Todos Santos, not only the location, but the people as well. And like I mentioned earlier, great art culture. Here is that snapshot of the spring 2023 classes. Introduction to Environmental Justice. We have a Global Studies and Intercultural Competency course. We have an online storytelling and audience engagement course, and our Study Abroad Mexico Sustainability in a Complex Environment. So the 10 weeks are split up into 2 5-week sessions. All students will take both those classes each session. Unfortunately, there's no way to kind of break that up and only go for 5 of the weeks and then not participate in the second half, or vice versa. You have to you'll commit to the program as the full 10 weeks. And then throughout that entire time, all students engage in 1 credit of community engagement, typically working at the local recycling center, a lot of learning, a lot of giving back going on, which is fantastic. And that is taught by one of our coordinators, who also happens to be spearheading our efforts in being a zero waste center and presence down in Todos Santos. And that is Antonio. As mentioned for summer, here are summer course offerings. Summer 2023. Again, these courses will change every year. So if you have your heart set on these classes, but you're thinking about going 2024, unfortunately, you're going to have to jump at 2023 because there's not a guarantee that these exact courses will be offered in 2024. And this is the one where it's a combination between CSU Fort Collins professors and then CSU Pueblo professors. Cool. I also wanted to highlight, because there are so many out-of-class learning experiences and excursions in these programs, I just want to highlight some of the examples of what you might be able to engage in while you're studying with us at the center. A number of local businesses, environmental organizations, and ecological sites. We have a very wonderful and exciting history with the region of Todos Santos and the community members. And they are extremely welcoming now of our students and the center and our presence down in their beautiful community. So we have the privilege of meeting with the local residents, learning from them, and getting to visit businesses and environmental organizations and really connect and interact with them. It's absolutely wonderful. And part of the way we do this is by conducting oral history interviews and documenting stories. And I'm looking at a wonderful project that we have had, kind of this ongoing project of oral history interviews. Looking at the book right here. It's absolutely beautiful to highlight some of the voices and experiences of the local residents and all that we've learned. We have a multi-day hiking and camping trip with local ranchers that's happened in the past. That's absolutely amazing. Students have been part of sea turtle releases, Dia de los Muertos activities, photography workshops, visits to beaches, cooking classes, other hikes, you name it. It's a wonderful, wonderful region with so much to do. And so we like to value that and make sure that's an important element included in your study abroad experience. As for costs, we want to be absolutely transparent. And like I mentioned earlier, budget's the last thing in terms, as well as academics, that anyone wants to be surprised about. Right now, CSU estimates cost of attendance to be, for undergraduate students, to be around $14,500. And again, this is before applying any financial aid, scholarships, grants, or loans, or anything. For non-resident students, it's sitting at around $24,800-ish. Our semester in Todos Santos program is about $18,000, whereas the summer is about $9,000, again, before any financial aid or scholarships have been applied. And that includes tuition, housing, meals, and then estimated costs of living. So this is not like a locked-in cost, just like, you know, the estimated cost of attendance at CSU is not locked in. It depends on the student, it depends on their living habits, it depends on what they're spending money on and prioritizing. So that number can definitely fall much lower than $18,000. You will be supported by an entire team in your progress and preparations for education abroad, wherever you decide to go. And part of our team members, two of them, two lovely individuals, Cindy Maris and Evelyn Martinez, and they are our education abroad financial aid advisors over in the financial aid office. And they're absolutely lovely, and they are ready and willing and excited to meet with you about your aid package and what that looks like with regards to a study abroad experience. As mentioned earlier, 99.9%, if not all of your financial aid, scholarships, grants, and loans, students typically keep for a semester abroad. There's always that off chance something might not work, but these are things you would know well in advance. We also have additional scholarships you can apply for. CSU Education Abroad awards around $600,000 in aid or scholarships a year. And we have a common application that students can submit, and it applies students to like 30 scholarships. It's incredible. One application, a bunch of scholarships. And there are some deadlines coming up, especially if you're thinking about the spring semester in Todos Santos. And then, of course, a later deadline for subsequent semesters. So this website is a good one to just bookmark so you can keep track of when those deadlines and dates are coming up. At the center, I also wanted to give a little highlight on kind of what the housing situation looks like. Most meals are included in your stay for a semester program. There's a communal kitchen where most of our students will take turns and have, okay, you do dinner Monday night, I'll do it Tuesday night, I'll do it Wednesday night. And we find that it really builds and adds to that community piece. And then if you were to engage in any camping, there is, you'd be camping in a tent, etc. So you obviously wouldn't be at the center when you're camping. But yeah, it's always nice to kind of see where you would be sleeping and living and learning. And of course, the rooms are on site as well. So you'd have your classes and then like apartment style living at the center, as well as with the faculty that are attending. And what's really cool is the classrooms that they have are open air classrooms. So they're on top of the roof. It's absolutely incredible. I don't know how anybody learns really, because you're just looking out, it's just so beautiful. But they do, they manage to learn. It's wonderful. But yeah, open air classrooms, not a bad place to be. Next steps, I would encourage you to meet with me whenever you can, even if you're not thinking about studying abroad until much later in your academic career, or you're still, trying to decide which program or which country or which region is the best fit for you. Feel free to email me. If you're sold on our semester in Todos Santos programs and you're excited to submit your application, our spring 2023 semester program has an application deadline of October 8th. So that is creeping up on us. So what I would encourage you to meet with me, and then we can talk about the application and any other questions, comments, concerns that you have. Other than that, I want to thank you all for being with me today. I apologize too. I talk fast and I talk a lot. So I hope I can have the opportunity now to answer some questions if we have any.
Thanks so much, Whitney,
Thanks,
for all of
Vanessa.
that helpful information.
Yes.
I learned a lot about Todos Santos.
I bet. Wonderful.
We haven't had any questions come in the chat.
That's all right.
And that's the way for participants to ask questions. So If anybody needs to ask a question or wants to ask a question, now's your chance. We'll stick around for a few minutes. But as Whitney shared, she is available by appointment and would love to meet with you if questions pop up later. And you can also email her. Lots of different ways to get in touch with Education Abroad coordinators.
Absolutely. It's my job. I'm happy to do it.
That's great. Well, no questions have come through. So I'm going to thank everyone for their time today.
Yes.
And we look forward to seeing you in Education Abroad.
Wonderful. Thanks, everybody.